Good evening, everyone. James Hicks here from Hicks New Media and Infotainment News. We have a fantastic show tonight on ITN Live. I've got I've got the man tonight, man. I've got Daniel Hooper. Daniel highlights himself when you look at his social profiles as a disciple, husband, dad, and author. I love everything about that. I swear I do. And that's really kind of I think what has drawn me to this guy ever since we started chatting. Daniel works for FNX Fitness, which, as a mission on the website, they're talking about being committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality to provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. That's a good mission right there. Daniel put me through a tough selection process to become an elite ambassador for the team, and I am humbled and honored to represent FNX the best way that I know how moving forward. Today, we're going to talk with Daniel, get to know him, talk about the company. Then we're going to dive a little bit deeper into their forthcoming Rise 45 challenge, which I'm participating in well, and I hope to bring some other folks in as well to get right, healthy from a physical, from a mental, and a spiritual perspective. That being said, folks, let's get into it. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Hooper is in the building. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good. That intro music really kicked it off for me.
You ready? Huh? You ready to get back on the squat rack, huh? You know that'll get you going.
Yeah, I was jamming, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. How you doing, man? Thanks for taking some time. I know it's a little bit later in the day, and it's Friday. You got some family there with you. I know that, but I just want to take a little bit of time just to wrap with you.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a good day. It's Friday. We're here. Made it to the weekend. I'm gonna get to sleep until the sun comes up tomorrow, which is nice. That's always the goal. During the week, I don't get to feel the sun rays on my face when I wake up in the morning. But those weekends, baby, I'm gonna try to get to enjoy it a little bit.
I love it. As a dad, we have very just simple goals, right? Can I maybe just sleep in a little bit? Can somebody else maybe cut the grass, take out the trash? Just those little things. We don't ask for a lot. Let me sleep in till 9 o'clock, maybe. Of course, you're probably going to get up a little bit earlier, but I don't know.
No, it's the truth. And for me, it's like I got this little built-in advantage because I have one young child, and then I have three that are older. Now they're still, living in the house, but it's like, so now it's like if the baby wakes up, like I can just tell, I can tell my girls, I can be like, hey, y'all are on baby duty tomorrow, and they'll roll their eyes at me, and but it's like, hey, guess what? I'm sleeping in.
Daddy's tapped out. You're on duty now. I love it. Daddy's on duty. Dad, I gave a little bit in the intro, but we're going to talk about the company, and we're going to talk about the forthcoming challenge, and that's all phenomenal stuff too. But I would love for you to impart on the listeners and the viewers who Daniel Hooper is. I like the elevator pitch a lot of time of just someone actually describing who they are. That could be long-winded or short-winded, whatever the case may be. But talk to us about who you are, sir.
Well, I am absolutely a habitually long-winded guy. I'll warn all about that. I definitely can talk your ear off. I can talk my own ear off. It's kind of a hobby of my own to just talk to myself, which maybe I shouldn't say that out loud. So my name is Daniel Hooper. I am one of the newest employees with FNX, a supplement company here based in Salt Lake City, Utah. I grew up in central Pennsylvania. Spent the first 20 some odd years of my life there, graduated college there, got a degree in religion, moved to Salt Lake City to live on my best friend's couch. I lived on my best friend's couch for right about a year. Got a pretty good job in corporate America. My best friend, a few years after that, started a company called FNX. He had asked me to come on board at that time. For me, it really wasn't the best time because then I had moved pretty quickly up the corporate ladder. Fast forward just a few months ago, and here I am now. I'd left corporate America. I have fully dived in and have committed to really helping FNX take this rapid growth that they're having and find a sustainable and continued rapid growth has really been my aim. For me, I'm a very proud father. I'm a very proud husband. I love my wife very much. I love my kids. I have 4 amazing children. AJ, who is 15, Emma and Bella, who are twin girls who are 11, and then Aaron, who is 20 months old. He's going on 2. He'll be 2 in February, so whatever that is in months. He's definitely been the light of all of our lives as a family. He was an IVF baby, so my wife and I went through in vitro to have him, which, depending on how deep you want to dive into that, that's a conversation in and of itself. And I love fitness. I've never been the guy who is going to win a workout. If we're doing CrossFit stuff, I've never been the strongest guy. Certainly never been the guy who's been the most shape. But I found myself being able to view people who are those people as peers and build very healthy relationships with anyone at whatever level they find themselves at in fitness.
Well, one thing that I noticed about you for sure, and I appreciate you go into that, is that you do put the work in, though, right? You talk about it, right? And that's your job. But man, taking a look at the photos that you post out there, you put the sweat in, the sweat equity in for sure, and that really propels me, and I'm sure a lot of other folks, that you motivate by actually doing as well. So that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's something where I've always found that if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna try to get the most out of it. For me, the difficulty has never been what happens when I'm in the door. It's always getting to the door. It's but once I step in, then I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna try to get better. And some days, I mean, truth be told, I don't. Some days it's like I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to mark that off my calendar. I'm happy to get to hang out with a few other people who are on their grind. And I mean, yeah, there's plenty of opportunities where it's like, yeah, you know what, today wasn't my best day. But then there are other days where I'm like, hey, I'm all the way there. I'm taking it all the way there. And I suffer for it for days later, and it's so worth it.
That's pretty good. Now, you said you live in Salt Lake City. I have mixed emotions about Salt Lake City. I actually have a slight bit of PTSD about that. And I will tell you the story. And it's not complete. It's not completely bad, but it is bad. A couple of years ago, my family and I were on our way from California here, headed to Europe, headed to Paris. First layover was in Salt Lake City. Changed planes, started on the way up. Bird strike. One of them Scully type bird strikes. One of those Hudson River type birds. So we were heading up, hadn't even got to 10,000 feet. I felt the pilot just let off the acceleration, and I looked over at my family and I said, Lord, if you're taking us now, it sure does feel like it, and I hope everybody is right. Needless to say, long story short, plane turned around. We had to land. It was an emergency. All the fire trucks and all the medical facilities were out there. As we're getting off the plane, one of the engines was completely busted up. The front windshield for the pilot was completely covered in bird remains. Scary thing, brother. It was no joke, and they couldn't find another plane. They couldn't fix that one. Obviously, they couldn't find another one, so we actually had to spend the night in Salt Lake. They put us up in a hotel. My wife and kids actually got a chance to rent some scooters downtown, and they went to the Tabernacle Choir and actually saw them perform, and they rode around the area. So little bit of a mixed reaction and memory of your town. So if I come back there again to hang out with you guys and work out in the box, I don't know, man. I might drive. I'm
Well,
gonna drive from
I
California.
promise. I promise to make it a much more enjoyable experience. I'm not a pilot, so I make no promises of the air quality here. But I would tell you that that we do more than ride some scooters. We'd have some fun. We do like to have some fun here. I mean,
Yeah.
that's even as you were saying that other thing, that always comes to my mind when people say that is like, hey man, y'all could have just came and crashed at our place. I bought this house. I bought this house
Now
with
you
the whole
tell me.
intention.
Now you tell me.
Next time.
Because the day that we were laid over was a Sunday, so everything was closed.
Yep.
Salt Lake City, everything was closed.
Man,
What are we gonna do? So next thing you know, that the only place to go was to see the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. So there you go. That's what we would do. So next year when we come back, when everyone gets this, when we get over this hump of 2020 and get better and start traveling again and doing some of those things. But I wanted to share that with you.
I love that.
Yeah, I still think about that a lot of times as well, man.
Yeah, man, that sticks with you. That's one's gonna stick in the ribs for a while.
Yeah, man. Talk to us a little bit about the company. Talk to us about FNX. I know, like you say, you and Adrian go back. You lived on his couch, ate all his food, drank all his beer, whatever the case may be. But him as an entrepreneur. I mean, I see the energy, right? And I see what comes from an organization like every week when he and Chase are doing the sessions, the audio and the video podcasts online. But and I see the passion. I see the desire to teach. Let me put it that way, right? The desire to teach and have other folks become better. Talk to me a little bit about the company and how that, I guess, seems to flow down from the foundation down to everyone that's within the company.
Yeah, 100%. I think the first place that I would go with that question is, I've known Adrian his entire life. I've known him as, one of my favorite memories of Adrian is he and I growing up, we never fought, we never butted heads, we always got along. Part of it was because we always kind of just adapted. One of the very few times that we did, and I don't even remember what the topic was, but I had said to him, he was making some kind of outlandish statement. It was probably something wrong. And I said to him, I said, hey man, you know what? Just speak for yourself. All right. And his response was, that's the only person I speak for. And Adrian's always been that guy where he's never wanted to cut corners. He's never wanted to represent something that's not him. He's never wanted to pretend to be someone he's not. Adrian's always been the guy that he wants to outwork. He wants to give whatever he can. Adrian had, we grew up in a small town in the middle of Pennsylvania, rural kids. Adrian had no way to really make it to the NFL or to have any chance to play Division I football. Mm-hmm. And, and he had some tryouts for the league. He played D1 football up here at Weber State in Ogden, Utah. And it wasn't because he was naturally gifted. He is gifted, no question. But it's always been because of the work that he's put in. So when the founding of FNX came about, my first thought when he told me, like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, like, I was just like, I mean, I don't like protein. Like, I don't like it. And my experience was like a few brands, like more expensive brands, but then also Walmart. And I'm like, it never mixes well. It's never good. Yeah. Like, it's kind of not worth it. And what other supplements are you going to take? Like, and him just saying like, well, no, there's a need. There's a need. I need it. If I need it, I know other athletes need it. And then it's like, okay, but it's still going to suck. I'm sorry. It's still going to be bad.
It's going to taste like chalk. No.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not going to mix well. These things never do. And he's like, just watch. And him and his business partners, they came with a formula. They had an idea of the way to prepare the whey. They had other options. They had, originally we had the OG cricket.
That was good stuff. So hold on. Let's talk about the cricket protein.
Yes.
I've been down with FNX for a minute. So yeah, look, I got
OG cricket, man.
Yeah, I'm back in the day, right? I mean, you don't even have this sweatshirt on the website anymore. This is old school.
No, yeah, that's old school.
Let me tell you something. I bought that cricket protein in the house, and my daughter and son looked at me, and I got the craziest side eye. And then my wife was like, "I'm not taking that," but it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. Yeah, there's a little bit of there was some
Consistency.
texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little texture to it. And when you think that you're eating a cricket's leg, it's all right. It's protein. It's good for you. It, taste and flavor was on par though, man. That was good stuff, right? So just the fact that you're saying that, Adrian, and when they started out, that a quality product that actually tastes like something that you wanted to take 3, 4, however many times per day, that's
Well,
commendable. So
and then on top of that, you don't have all these extra things, and that was always
yes,
something to me. There was a brand that he was working with at the time that was really prominent in CrossFit, and I went keto right before he like stopped his relationship with this company,
okay,
and I was saying to him, I was like, hey man, like I want to be able to take, like, I need a protein supplement, but I like, this is too sugary.
yeah,
It's so good, but it's so sugary. And he's like, well, just wait. And I never knew what it meant. I just thought he was like telling me they were coming out with something. Well, here, lo and behold, it was, no, we're going to come out with something that is going to be low in carbs, that is going to be gluten free, that is going to match and check all the boxes that you need to check as an athlete, whatever your capacity.
yeah,
And that's why when I talk about FNX, I always think it's so important to just look at the beginning and then know that it's like Adrian and his partners have been the entire way through guys who wanted to do things the right way.
yeah.
The Live program, the mindset of the way that we approach and go about our day-to-day business. I don't know if you had a chance to watch. We had a podcast on our Facebook Live just in reference to our values,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
the one that always sticks out to me is number 10, and it's the golden rule. And because it's such a change of what we hear of the golden rule, the golden rule in common tongue is treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And inside FNX, it's treat people how they want to be treated.
They want to be treated. I heard that. Yeah.
And that is ultimately, it's like, we don't cut corners. We want to make sure that we're meeting people where they're at. We are a jack of all trades. So we have a number of different products that are available for a number of different people. I don't say that from a sales piece or a sales pitch, but more along the lines of, it's just like, hey man, like if you need something, if you feel like your body needs X, Y, or Z, I really do want to be there and help you. And,
Hmm.
and on our end, it's like, we really do approach this thing where it's like, hey, we're a business, but we're also really motivated to helping people get the best out of their lives, whatever that ends up looking like.
I mean, when you put that down in the mission statement of the entire organization, that just has to resonate, and you've got to be true to that. And I've seen in the time that I've been using the products as well that's just truth. And I like the fact that it's supplementation and not a focus on stimulants. It's
Yeah.
it's, it's focused on nutritional value, right? And supplementing quality, real food, supplementing real work. Real effort and things of that nature. So the fact that you've got the super greens in here now, that's huge. I mean, everyone should have been taking those forever. The
Yep.
fact that you've got AM and the PM types of proteins, right? Just the fact of being able to be easily digestible. Those things, I mean, you can't just take the same old way or casein, whatever, throughout the same. I mean, if you can spread it out and take what's right for the body to digest effectively in the AM or the PM, that really matters. The right blend from a BCA perspective, right? The 2-in-1, the most common. But I mean, just having what's in there that needs to be in there, but not having all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
not having stuff that's not necessary for the goal.
and I think that's the word right there too, is, we want you to know what your goal is, and then we want you to aim for it.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to be the star of the show. I've long said just about Adrian as a person, and I've said this when Adrian was a college football player running for 250 yards and his first career start. I've always found Adrian as a much better coach than an athlete.
Hmm.
To use a biblical term, I would say that Adrian is a better Barnabas than he is a Paul.
Okay.
And that's to
Okay.
say he's a better encourager. He's
Yeah.
so good at that stuff. Now, that is not to say that man is not a star in and of himself. I mean, we're spending here a lot of time talking about him, right? But the method and the mindset of the company has been supplement.
Mm-hmm.
You got to still put in work. You still got to
There
show
you
up
go.
every day.
Every day. Yeah.
But we're gonna get you over that hump.
Yeah, because I tell you what, because the recharge it's nice, but it's not gonna lift that bar for you. Right?
It ain't pushing the weight for you, baby.
It'll help you focus and help you get in the right mindset, but it's not gonna move that weight for you. Um, let me ask about challenges, I guess, of this incredibly strange 2020, and really from an inventory perspective, right? Because I see a couple of things that are not there. I know you probably just rotating stock, coming up with new formulations, coming up with new offerings and things of that nature. But we were talking about the cricket protein. Don't see that anymore. And then there used to be a men's and women's multivitamin, and now I'm seeing the Immune Plus complex. Is that just an evolution of formulations, or is it more because I can't get um, core materials from manufacturing things a lot because shipping and logistics and things like that because of the year?
It's both.
Okay.
It's absolutely both. Obviously, 2020 has put a significant damper on factory production.
Yeah.
And so, we've had to put things on the cutting room floor that maybe we didn't otherwise want. I'm a writer. One of the famous writing terms is "kill your darlings,"
Hmm.
and essentially, the meaning of that is it's like if it's something that's special to you, but it's not important for the story or it's not vital for the story, then you got to be willing to get rid of it.
Okay.
For us as a company, like we've evaluated where cricket is the OG thing, but right now and over the last few years, cricket hasn't been something that has been hyper productive for us. Now, does that mean that we will never bring it back? That it's done? Absolutely not. It is something where we pride ourselves in our foundation, and that is something that is a part of our history. I have a shirt that is I wore when I was working out. It says "No way," and it's just a giant cricket. And it was like that was the jam, man. Like, but
That's funny.
and in that though, it's something where it's like we do have to evaluate. We have to have those conversations, from an inventories perspective.
Yeah.
We are always trying to create new things. There are certain things that have been in high demand that are in development and have been in development for a while. Um, but at the same time, now I mean, 2020 is tough when it comes to production. It
Mhm.
really is, and you feel so bad because you have these factory workers and you have these factories that are hyper regulated.
Yeah.
I mean, and for us, it's like they're regulated in a number of different facets, right?
Mhm.
But then on top of that, you also have a company like us that's like still very fast growing. While we have absolutely felt the effects of COVID, and I mean, even just we had an office outbreak in the middle of November,
Oh
but
wow.
also just from a business perspective, from for me, it's like hopping on calls with people. I mean, man, I hop on calls with people who are active, active buyers and active customers and active members of the community, and they're just like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to buy for a long time. I lost my
Wow.
job. My
Mhm.
grandma died, and like I'm gotta worry about the future. Like, I mean, there's so many intense
Right.
things that are happening in this day and age, and all when we have our meetings and we talk about these things, it ultimately always comes back to where we are needs to serve a purpose. And
Okay.
if you come to me and you say, "Man, I really miss you guys' reds, your antioxidants.
Mhm.
Those super reds, they hit the spot for me. That cherry limeade, man, I loved it." I'm not just going to ignore it and be like, "Too bad."
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm going to make a note of that because I want to remember. I want to remember that so that when the factories, when the regulations have eased off, when things are kind of back and moving, and I want to say the opportunity to grow is there for everyone, not just us.
Yeah.
I want to be able to say to Skylar and to Adrian and say, you know, Skylar's the CEO of our company. I want to be able to go to him and be like, hey, I think it's time to bring back those reds. Or what are we doing instead of reds? What's the reds replacement that's even better? That's like when you talk about the multivitamin, just briefly, I'd say the immune complex. I don't take a multivitamin anymore. I take the immune complex.
Immune complex.
It's
it's jam packed with the right stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I got it myself. It's got the right stuff in it. So the fact that you kind of combine the men's and the women's into that, I mean, that's amazing. So
yeah,
I see the move as well. You know, just speaking of types of supplementation, collagen is huge, and I see that, you know, with the Brookings line and the CBD lines, things of that nature, just being able to take those different types of alternative types of supplementation. So it's exciting to see a growing company like FNX looking at what's on the forefront, what's relevant, what's here today, and what people could really find some benefit out of. And the fact that you've got the stimulant free, and I was telling you this when we first talked, the stimulant free because I will work out at like 9 o'clock at night, and brother, if I got too much caffeine in me, it's not good for the entire house. I'm up vacuuming, I'm up doing laundry at midnight, and the family will just I will be banished for good. They would change the locks on the front door. So stim free is what I need when I hit the rack at like 9 o'clock at night.
No, I'm all in on the sim free.
Let me take a drink from the FNX cup here while we're chatting. I'm company man, brother. This is the real deal.
Yeah,
I'm not here.
You're on the squad. Which one does that? What's the logo? What's the words on there?
This is what we do every day, man. We rise and grind.
So fun story about that. That was actually, I named that one. That was me. Our merch guy came to me and he's like, man, I got one more cup I want to do, and I can't think of something else to put on there. Any ideas? And like, boom, I was just like, rise and grind. Do you already have that? And he's
Don't
like,
you know?
And just bolted out of the room and was like, it's perfect. It's like, yes.
That's the author in you, right? Just being able to come off the top there. That's the Edgar Allan Poe in you, right there.
yeah, that's something like that.
Talk to us a little bit about. So we talked about the company, we talked about the culture, and I'm gonna call it the trickle down effect, right? Because it starts at the top, it kind of works in with everyone else, and it's not just the supplementation, it's not just those products. I mean, you got some pretty cool swag too, man. Look, I'm rocking some decent gear. We need to get the shorts back in stock, man. Because look, them shorts, we need to get them back in stock, especially when the weather gets nice and warm, so I can get some of those. January 4th. It's a big day. January 4th is a big day. So talk to us about this forthcoming Rise 45. I got my calendar here.
Yes,
my 45 days. Talk to us a little bit about Rise 45 and what that means and what that entails.
So I again, I'm all about telling a story about things. So Rise 45 started and was formulated on a car ride to Southern Utah between Adrian and I. We were talking about fitness challenges, and we were talking about, being honest, we were kind of being critical of a number of different fitness challenges. You know, people were like 30 days of nutrition, and it's like, yeah, but what do they look like on day 34?
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, it's going to be 100-day fitness challenge, and it's like, cool, but what about 102? What about 115? How are they doing after this thing has started? And for us, then it was like, okay, why? Like, frankly, like I think about for me, I would say, why do I suck after I do this? Why is this so miserable? Why is this 30-day keto challenge or 30-day paleo challenge or 30-day workout challenge, whatever it is? Why does it suck so bad? And kind of what we came to was, well, because it's all it is the aim is, let's get to the end. Mm-hmm. The aim is we want to get to the very end because we want to get it over with. Yeah. And we're going to see the results on day 30 and that's all we care about. And so then we went from there to really what you need to be doing is trying to impact people's habits. For me, I mean, in the last year, I've weighed 250 pounds. I'm not tall enough to weigh 250 pounds healthy. When I weighed in at the beginning of my test dumminess of the Rise 45, I was weighing right about 235. I'm down 15 pounds. Tomorrow will be day 40.
Yeah, because you're doing it right now. You're actually doing it right. You're the precursor. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, then what we did is once we had identified, like, hey, okay, so we want to hit habits, and then it was like, boom, and it was crazy how it was like the second that we decided it was going to be all about habits, it was okay. Habits for your mindset. What are you intaking? What are you reading? Are you giving yourself time to actually soak in what you're reading? Then it was habits for your water intake. Are you actually drinking water? Are you focused on drinking water? Yeah. Or are you the guy who drinks 6 cups of coffee in a day and walks around with creaky bones because you're dehydrated? Are you
preach?
Yeah. Hey, and I say that like right here. Are you sleeping enough? Mm-hmm. How are you doing with your supplementation? Are you consistent? And then, of course, how are you doing with your fitness?
Yeah.
And so once we hit that, then it was like, okay, well, let's do a 45-day challenge, right? They say it takes 6 weeks to build a habit. Mm-hmm. 6 weeks is technically 42 days. Well, the Rise 42 doesn't sound quite as good as the Rise 45. So we were like, well, let's 45. We'll call that extra 3. Let's go that extra 3. Let's go that extra step. So the way we framed it is 45 days to build a habit. It's habit building, not one habit, but a habit-filled lifestyle that you are removing maybe distractions that aren't distractions that you can, or that are distractions that you can remove, right? So like for me, it's like I can't remove my kids, right? Like they're a distraction. I love them dearly. I can't remove them. So they're just a part of this.
Watch what you say. That's why you're in the garage right now. No, I don't want to get you. No.
Hey, yeah, they're all inside. Our food already came, so I can smell the chicken from here. I'm jealous.
I love it.
But but the distractions that you can remove, right? So like for me when it came to the diet, right? So I wanted to hit a diet, quote unquote, for these 45 days. But I wanted to be a diet that was actually sustainable. It was beneficial. I fast, and I do a 16-hour fast every day. Okay. So 16 hours minimum. Some days are much more, but I do a fast every day of 16 hours, which is something that I enjoy. Though it's something that, like, for me, I like exercising hungry. I like training hungry. I like moving hungry. I like working hungry. I don't like being hungry. But then also I chose to cut out alcohol for 45 days. And so from my experience of the test dumminess of this Rise 45, really the mindset was, okay, so we're going to bring people in. We're going to give them an opportunity to have supplementation for their health. We're going to give people an opportunity to build habits, and then also to talk to a nutritionist. You can hop on then also call with me to talk about your habits and almost to formulate a plan of what habit you want to build and how you want to do it. If you already have that stuff, you don't have to talk to me. If you already know your fair share about diet, that's okay. You don't have to talk to the nutritionist. You see that old mug down there at the bottom of the screen?
I love it. I like that hat you got on too. That looks familiar. Yeah. I'm liking what you're rocking.
Yeah, man. And the workouts I've done. So I talked about Adrian being a better coach than an athlete. Adrian programmed 45 workouts. He actually programmed 90 workouts, because the other part of it is we do 45 days of, if you're a kind of a Globo gym or a gym guy, if you're home gym, like for me, if you prefer to go to whatever your Globo gym is, or a CrossFit box, however you choose to do that, we have programming for that. We also have a body weight programming to match and meet people where they're at if they're in a place where right now gyms aren't open or they don't feel safe. Mm-hmm. Or frankly, even for people who don't feel like they're in good enough shape to do that type of program.
Okay.
That was a lot.
That's pretty. That's pretty. I mean, I've heard you guys say that I'm gonna meet you where you're at, and
Yeah.
that resonates again, right? Because again, look, California, we're shut down. I after 10 o'clock, we got to be in the house and can't be doing too much, right? Until we get over this hump, and until we get this under control. But yeah, and I'm not going to my gym because there's not a lot of mask wearing. It's it is what it is. So I got to take advantage and utilize the resources that I have here, either in the backyard or in my office or whatever. So the fact that you've got that programming for body weight, that you've got that programming for using bands or using my ad wheel, whatever the case would be, that's huge. But what's most important, and that habit piece. I'm looking at the calendar, right? Really all the other fitness challenges only focus on I'm gonna get you those abs and 20 days. Okay, whatever. But we're talking about not just the exercise. Are you sleeping? Are you eating? Are you drinking the water? Like you said, taking the right supplementations consistently. Then that mindfulness piece, right? So mind, body, and spirit is being taken care of
Yep.
building habits in this 45 days. And that once we put this calendar down, once we're done with that, those should continue to resonate. That's what I think is really going to draw folks to committing to this and continuing to do it for 90 days, continuing to do it for 120 days, and turning it into lifestyle changes. So I'm excited to get this going. I'm gonna wait for the programming because I continue to hear from you and, like I said, Chase and Adrian, that there's a couple of days that'll kill you. Well, there are a couple of record days. I won't say they'll kill you, but there's some. What do you say? Day 10 was the day that probably put you down on your knees.
Yeah, day 10 was the day where I really considered trying to fist fight Adrian at the FNX headquarters. There was a solid chance that if Adrian wasn't in the office that day, he was really lucky, because if he'd been in the office, we'd have thrown down real aggressive.
He would have came to blows. Now, was that this day? Because the look in your eye, sitting right there, just looks like all you're saying is you're like, bruh. I mean, you're like, you can see it just in the body language, bruh. This is tough, but
and a lot of that is it's so funny. So we did like a photo shoot the other day, and that's just me, just sidebar, that's just me taking a picture, like me literally putting like a camera and taking a picture of myself like that. Like, that's just me being creative.
that was you 4 hours ago.
Yeah, straight up. But we were talking about during the workout. We were doing a photo shoot, and during the photo shoot, we actually worked out. And the photographer afterwards, he kind of like poked me a little bit, and he's like, "Hey, have a little fun." And it hit me. It's like, so many times when I'm working out, like I look like somebody's like about to steal my dog. Like, it's just like, oh man, I'm here. And it's like, now I'm inside, I'm having fun. And there are other times you'll catch me where I'm dancing, right? The right song comes on. If I get the DJ, chances are I'm gonna be jamming. We're gonna have some
I
fun.
love it.
But yeah. It is, the programming is definitely, the programming is not going to be for everyone as it's originally prescribed. Which, if you do jump into the program, if you do join into the Rise 45, one of the big things is we're going to have a private Facebook group, so that if you look at the workout of the day or workout of next week, and you're like, dude, I can't do a pull-up. What do I do? We'll be able to give you options, and we'll be able to help you through, if you're like, I can't squat because I have bad knees. Well, the last thing that I'd ever want to make somebody feel is that makes them inadequate, or makes them, they don't belong, or they don't deserve to win.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, man, you're going to have just as great of an opportunity to win as the fittest man on earth. Yeah. If not, maybe better. Because he's going to need different kind of rest days than you are. Maybe he's not going to sleep as well as you will after these workouts because you're going to be tired.
Gonna be tired. Gonna be tired. But so 45 days starting January 4th, and you've kind of alluded to it. I want to make sure that it's clear for everyone. There is a look, you got to give something to get something. So, there is a financial commitment to getting into the program in and of itself, to get all of the programming, to get the supplementation, to get the calendar, and to get those one-on-one conversations with the nutritionist. But outside of that financial obligation to get in, there's a financial reward possible, for you're giving one away or giving two away, one for a man and one for a lady.
It's going to be a $5,000 reward period.
Okay. Okay.
$5,000 is the reward.
Hey.
Is the way we're doing it. Yeah. I mean, and here's the counter or the statement too, kind of the follow up to that is there's a buy-in, but you get stuff out of the buy-in.
Yeah.
A lot of times with nutrition challenges, it's like you get a buy-in and then it's like you maybe get a call once a week, and then the reward's not that great. Right now, we have a couple hundred people who are involved in the program. The buy-in is going to be about $230. You're going to get out of it. You're going to get a number of different supplements of ours to try that are going to be 30-day supplies. So they're going to be really like pretty solid supplies, as well as some of our capsules, our krill oil, which is a replacement of your omega 3s, but then also our immune complex and then our super greens, and both of those are going to be great for your health.
Got to love it.
But so you're buying, all we're saying is hey, buy products. We're going to give you the products. Oh, by the way, then programming. Oh, by the way, then you have a chance to win $5,000.
You don't have to repeat. You don't have to tell me twice. Look, yeah. I got in day one, right?
You did too, yeah.
I was like, hey, what do I need to do? I know I already got a whole bunch of other stuff. What do I need to get down to get into it? That's cool, man. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm hyped about it. I know that this is going to be great for folks as well. I'm gonna let you get to this food, but I have to ask one question. Just side note, being the technologist at heart and by trade that I am, I'm gonna ask you not a fitness question, but what piece of technology in your life is with you all the time that you can't live without, or is there a piece of hardware, software, service, whatever that Dan has to have in his pocket or on his person at all times?
Well, I mean, from a career perspective, I have to have my phone.
Yeah.
From a life perspective, no. Yeah. I mean, I like to be able to keep up after people, but I'm not the guy who needs to be on the phone.
Yeah.
I love one-on-one interactions. I love getting to hang out with people. I'm comfortable in crowds. I'm comfortable with people. So, I mean, my phone is definitely the most valuable piece of technology that I have. I don't own a PS5 yet. I didn't buy a PlayStation 5 yet, so maybe that'll take place. But I would also say, though, I think I wouldn't want to understate it. I'm probably most protective from a technology standpoint of my laptop, because that's something I bought with my first check in corporate America. And I bought it, and literally the day I bought it, I said, I'm going to write a novel in here that is going to sell 1 million copies, and I'm going to be able to quit my job. And that was, and I've published 6 novels. None of them sold 1 million copies, so I haven't been able to quit my job. I have 2 other novels that are finished that are on my laptop that I just need to continue editing. And so that's something where it definitely has a very sentimental and then obviously financial value to me, that I wouldn't want to lose that either.
That's why I asked that question, right? Because you never, the last person that I asked that question said chapstick. And I don't know where it came from, but yeah, he said chapstick. But I love just getting that because it makes you think you weren't expecting it, and that's pretty cool. I'm gonna check out the the Danial Hooper Amazon Audible list. Yeah. Brother, I appreciate you, man. You're a good dude. I just got to say that, man. You're a good dude. I'm glad we connected. I look forward to working with you more, getting to know you more. Obviously, hanging out with the crew at the company and things of that nature, and promoting the FNX Fitness culture. I'm not going to say products. I'm going to say the culture, because that's really, I think, is what has drawn me to what you guys are doing. So nothing but the best of success, brother. Go in there and get some of that food, and I appreciate you hanging out with me for tonight.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Andy.
See you guys.